I noticed that one of my video on YouTube got quite an interest from people. And I believe that perhaps some of you may be very intrigued by this scene and their approach. My intention is not to go down the historical facts route because I'm not an expert in that and I don't have the knowledge for that either. I can only share my experience based on my resources, but also based on my memories, feelings, and understanding of how a specific vibration have impacted my life and how that allowed me to navigate through my life, but also develop a much wider perception of myself. Really, the intention of this video is to share my journey with the Egyptian Essene therapy and my memories that I keep holding into my heart. Very profound and touching moment of deep alignment with what I do and who I am at this very moment of my life. My spiritual journey started in 2010 when I found myself in a very deep, dark hole, let's call it depression. And I was looking for something. I noticed I was, on some level, my soul was researching for some clues and understanding of whys, the big whys we all have within. Why is this happening to me? Why the world is against me? Why God is so upset with me? Why this keeps repeating in my life? Why I'm not happy? Why I can't be joyful? Why I'm never satisfied with the things I have? Why I cannot connect with people in a way that is nourishing, it's profound, it's mutual. Why I can't find a partner that shares, that is on the same page of me. Why my family doesn't get me. Why my parents do not know me. Why nobody explains things to me. What is it that I feel inside? How can I put into words this feeling, the need to belong that I've been feeling my whole life? And those are just few questions, obviously, I had at that time, and I know maybe a lot of you have too. So I felt that I've never met somebody that was able to see me. And I didn't know that at that very moment of life. I knew that when I met my very first guide in a very peculiar way, that it was just meant to be. And I remember just having that eye contact with this human being, opened up something within my soul. It allowed me to access something that was so deep and profound that I'll never forget. And then she did this gesture and she saluted me in this way. And I realized I did exactly the same thing at the exact same time that she did. And in that moment, everything clicks. And at that moment, I realized that there's more, there's much more here that I'm yet to discover. And that was the very beginning of my healing journey. She was an Egyptian Essene therapist. I had no clue what that meant. I thought I was receiving some craniosacral therapy that day. She did an Egyptian Essene therapy on me, and it was mind-blowing. I never felt anything like it before. It was a journey within my soul. It was a journey of reconnecting with my spirit. It was a journey of recognition of who I was, stepping out of the victim mode, seeing myself as a victim, some form of martyr in this world, and realizing that actually I had the power within me to change this around. And I could regain that authority if I was willing to work and go deep down into myself, which obviously it wasn't an easy journey because what I set myself for was a very long and also painful process of going through so many layers and traumas of my life in a way that at times felt confusing, felt like going through very dark night of my soul. But somehow there was a light within me that allowed me to keep going. I never forgot the importance of reconnecting with that light, just as a reminder that what I was doing had a purpose and was important, and I had to continue and not to give up on myself. So that was the very first understanding that I had. Then from that very moment, life started paving the way towards my course, because I wanted to become an Egyptian Essene therapist. And I met, I believe, my soul family through the process. I've met people like me. I met people that were able to see me farther beyond I could see of myself. I found an emotional container that was safe to explore myself in all my shadows, in all my unconscious mechanism, in not probably the best parts of myself, and that allowed me to love all of me, but love it and accept it in a way that I thought it was never going to be possible. And even today, people are very surprised when the way I talk about the negative, let's call it negative, or the shadow of me, because I have deep, deep respect for these parts of me as a human, but also a spiritual uh, being. I realized the importance of dropping expectations of myself, dropping any form of perfectionism, and embracing my shadows, embracing these parts of me that were so deeply wounded that they have to become and they have to behave in a way that could protect me and allow me to survive through specific moments of my life. And from that very moment, I started treating myself with love, compassion, and kindness. One thing I discovered through receiving therapies and then continuing also within my individual journey was that on some level, I'd always been connected to the Essene family. I don't know much about them, but if I tap into the memory I have of this energy, there's something very profound that happens within me. I see this bright light, I see the sun, I see an open field of possibility. I see and understand what love truly is. That love of dropping all the contrast and duality we may experience through life and have that oneness, that love that is very much needed when we are looking at the self, but also when we are looking at the world. Understanding the difference that lies between being human and also embracing our humanity, little selves, embracing the ego, respecting the ego and our personality, not rejecting it, criticize it, or ban the ego from our life, because I don't agree with that. Actually, the moment you train your ego, I very much respect my ego. I make space for it as well, because I feel it's a part of me. It's a part of my humanity. But at the same time, I'm also aware that there's a higher mind, there's a higher me that can move and shift perspective when it's needed. It can contact that spiritual, wise self that allows me to move from the very narrow view of my wounds to a vast and wide open perspective of me as a part of this world, as me as part of this environment, as me as part of all the relationship I have, as me as part of the whole of the humanity. When you can feel that, you can feel it within. You can feel that deep respect for yourself and deep respect for everything that happens in life. Your life changes. You become very humble. you develop an understanding that goes further beyond your mind and thinking. You become much faster in navigating through things within you. You get to know you and all parts of you. Today, after 15 years of trainings and learning, teaching these modalities, it's a very small group of people that have shown interest in this, because obviously you have to allow certain experiences to surface, and you have to say yes, be open to navigate through a journey like this. I feel that more than ever, if we could just tap into that source of love and understanding, that could facilitate such an acceleration in growth, especially emotional maturity. Because even therapy nowadays, I feel, has become a bit repetitive and at times tend to procrastinate change. I feel that some methods actually perpetuate problems rather than supporting change and transformation and responsibility for people while growing. And I believe that if we allow ourselves to connect with something that is so divine, is so pure, is so powerful, you can truly understand and go through the healing process. Rather, obviously, I always recommend to have professional support, to have an adequate space for when navigating through inner conflicts and trauma. But you will see that over time, you will become stronger, more capable of facing life events, more open to life, more compassionate towards yourself and other people. And you will see things from so many different angles. You'll be very surprised and very pleased. So I just wanted to share my experience. I know maybe I went a bit off road, but I just wanted to share my story and also my deep gratitude to have found something so important for me. And I want to pass this on. I want more people to feel this in a natural way. And when I say natural, I mean without the use of any psychedelics or external elements, but to find it within yourself, to connect with your attunement. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. This really helps my work. I'll be very, very grateful if you also want to share it. Maybe somebody else wants to hear this. Thank you.